Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. I am back at Trailblazer Firearms with owner and CEO Aaron Voigt. Aaron, thanks so much
Yeah,
for having me.
right on.
Today is Halloween, is when we're actually recording, so I wanted to do a series on the scary gun, the AR-15. Actually, no, that wasn't even. That was just happenstance. And what this is going to be about? Yes, it is about the AR-15, but more of an educational thing and something that I've been wanting to do for a while. So last time was the first time I got to shoot an AR-15 that was made by Trailblazer Firearms. All right.
That's a good looking rifle.
I agree. I agree. So, what was really cool is recently they did a unique, or I guess would you say, custom
Yeah, custom serial number offering.
of an AR-15 receiver, or a stripped lower. And so, um, Aaron told me about it, and I bought one. But yeah, so they put their logo on there, and you could actually put in your own custom serial number. So me being the tongue-in-cheek, I guess geeky one that I am, I had it sort of named after the channel. I have serial number F55555, and then Aaron was also gracious enough to actually put the logo on the other side of the receiver. So we'll get up close-ups here in just a second. So after buying that, I determined, well, it's obvious. If you're going to buy a receiver, you need to actually build all the rest of the parts if you're going to have an AR. And so this video is going to be showing the order on which I purchase things, as well as things I've learned. And if you are going to be wanting to build an AR-15, preparation and planning on what you want to do with your rifle or your pistol is going to be crucial. And the finale of this first video is going to show some of the legality issues and making sure that you are not unintentionally becoming a felon. Like, if we assembled everything that I bought, I would have made an illegal firearm. And I'm very glad that Aaron looked at it and not called me out, but addressed it and educated me. And so we're going to correct the issue before we put together the gun. So it'll be fully legal. It should be fun.
Yeah.
So starting off, this is the strip lower receiver from Trailblazer Firearms. You can see the custom serial number as well as their logo. And then, as I said, this is pretty sweet. They were able to put in the F5 logo. So this was the first step that I purchased, first part that I purchased, the strip lower. So then I did a lot of Google searches and trying to figure out what is the best way to proceed for building an AR. And so there are all these websites that say, here's all the parts that you need. Probably the first step that you need to do is build a lower. And so that is all attaches to this piece here, and that would go up against the shoulder, the hand grip, all the way to, I guess that would include the magazine.
Yeah, the magwell's part of the lower, the hammer, the trigger, all the fire control. Yep.
Okay. So if you hear the term AR lower, that's the bottom half, obviously the lower part of the rifle. So after that, after I bought this, I ended up going to a website where I could support local, made in USA parts. And so I was looking for different things. And so I bought a lower parts kit first, which is all the integral parts to get the lower, the trigger, the safeties, etc. So that was the first thing I bought. So here is the pistol grip that came with it. Let's see. And a lot of these other bags came along with it too. We'll get some close-ups when we actually do get to assemble it. One of the things, being a left-hander, Aaron, you're a left-hander.
I am.
That I wanted to do is make it as ambidextrous as possible. And so I got a ambidextrous safety, thumb safety, so that way it'll be helpful for me. The only other ambidextrous part that I could think of is actually there is a Yep, a charging handle, and this is what you'll pull back to be able to load the round into the chamber. Trigger guard, trigger. Let's see, what other parts would be?
So actually, your stock or pistol brace also connect to the lower. So you have your buffer tube, your buffer spring, and then pretty much all of your small parts. And then in an upper, separate from the lower, in an upper, then you would have your bolt carrier group. Generally speaking, most people buy a complete upper, which just means that the gas system, the barrel, the upper receiver, forward assist, dust cover, all that stuff is all already assembled. So there's a little bit more technical assembly in an upper. I don't generally assemble uppers either, but your bolt carrier group and your charging handle, sights, or optic would go on the upper. Muzzle device, these came with muzzle devices, and that's pretty much it.
Okay.
For the upper's a lot simpler. We'll just pop it on when we're done.
Sounds good. So after I bought all the parts for the lower, I was talking with Aaron and being like, okay, so what should I do about the upper? And as you just heard, he recommended just buying a completed upper because there are all these other, gas tubes and everything else to put together. And I was okay with that. And so with the lower, let me go back. So with the lower purchase, I was looking for different parts and came across this stock here. And so it's those adjustable 6 different sides, and it just seemed to work well what I was looking for. So that is, as a heads up, part of the education part of this. That is a rifle stock, not a pistol stock. So there will be a difference between the two.
And I think the technical terminology, we would call it a stock, regardless of the distinction, which makes a gun a rifle, regardless of the barrel length. And so if you're under a 16-inch barrel, that's a short barrel rifle. Compared to a pistol brace, so this is one example of a pistol brace. This particular one is not easily adjustable. It is adjustable with a tool, but you can kind of look at the back end. It's not designed to be comfortable against your shoulder, although the ATF kind of reversed their earlier ruling some years ago, and they allow a person to now to shoulder a pistol brace. So you can see this one is a really short length to pull. It's not a typical rifle stock length to pull, which is measured from trigger to the back end of the stock or the brace. So it's not as comfortable for that. The original pistol braces were designed with a Velcro loop, and it was intended for people who had disability, and it allowed a person to fire an AR one-handed. So the strap goes around your forearm, then you hold on to the pistol grip, and that allows you to control it.
Okay.
That's the idea.
Okay. So then I went to a website. So after buying all the lower parts, I went to a website to get the upper, the completed upper, and they had good pricing, high quality. They had a lifetime warranty, and about this time is when my budget for the gun was getting a little bit smaller, and so I ended up buying this 10.5-inch barrel, which is built into the upper. I was like, oh, that's probably going to be a good length. That'll feel comfortable, and the price is better than a little bit of the longer ones. And so I was like, sounds good to me. So I bought it. I took a picture and sent it to Aaron saying, hey, we're ready to build. And he then said, let me look a little bit closer at this. And it ended up being that if we assembled with this stock here, with this barrel, this would be technically a short-barreled rifle. And so, which is illegal to have without registering it, with a $200 registration.
Tax stamp. Registration maybe is a bad word.
That is.
It gets a lot of people worked up, but is called a Form 1 with under the NFA, the National Firearms Act. You can build or buy an SBR. It's no different than a suppressor. It's the same paperwork, same tax stamp,
Yeah.
and same body of regulation.
Okay. So anyway, thankfully Aaron, let me know, informed me, and so he and I are actually going to be trading uppers to where it'll be a legal rifle, and you can have fun with the short-barreled or the pistol from now on. So is this like a 6.5 or what?
I
what
think
is that?
that's an 8 or maybe a 7.5.
Okay.
It's definitely, it's about as short as you want to go, but that's a
Yeah.
300 blackout.
Okay. Okay. So for the viewers who are, if they're wanting to build their own, if you want to do it, my recommendation is know what you're wanting to build first. If you want to do a rifle, make sure you get all those rifle specs. If you want to do a pistol, get all the pistol specs. Make sure your brace is correct. You can definitely have a. Did I get him? Yep, there he is.
Good job.
If you can have a long-barreled pistol,
Yep.
but you just can't have a short-barreled rifle.
Right.
So what would be the minimum length for a rifle to where it would not be a short-barreled rifle?
Okay, there's two specific dimensions that are critical in the classification of a rifle. One is barrel length. Barrel length is measured from the breech face, which in an auto loader like this, the breech face is this bolt face right there. So that actually counts as part of the barrel length right there. And then it would go to the end of the fixed portion of the barrel. In this case, we have a flash hider, typical A2 style birdcage. That's easily removed, and so when you take that off, that length doesn't count toward your barrel length. And so this barrel is 16 plus the flash hider. If you pin and weld that, I don't want to get too technical, but there's a way to have a 14.5-inch barrel with an extra 1.5 in flash hider, but it has to be pinned and welded. Professional gunsmith usually would have to do that. That gets you that 1.5 shorter, but anyway, that's about the only way around that. The other important dimension, which is not actually that critical on an AR platform because of how big they are, overall length of 26 inches or greater has to be accomplished with from the tip of the muzzle to the back of the stock. And that would be from its collapsed position, or if it's easily removed, it would be from the back of the buffer tube or something like that. You can't fire an AR, a traditional style direct impingement AR, without a buffer tube, buffer spring. The bolt would just fly out the back. Bolt carrier group would. And so it's, even though you actually could fire at one time, that's not really the configuration. But anyway, I'm way in the weeds there. So barrel length, overall length, those are the two key factors. And then as far as a pistol brace, I'm no expert on it, but what we determined with yours, we looked at the literature that came with it or the way that it was advertised, and it said stock. And that's just kind of a dead giveaway. It also looks generally like a stock, even though there's no particular definition for that. And it's fully adjustable, which would also kind of make me lean toward it's a stock, not a brace. There's no straps. One giveaway for a pistol brace, or at least one way that manufacturers try to make something be classified as a brace, is it'll have a strap for going around your arm, even though you might not use it that way.
Okay.
So this one has texturing on the back plate. Another giveaway, that's made, it's contoured for your shoulder. So anyway, but it was advertised as a stock. We would want to call that a stock.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of the other things that there were actually two other parts that I ended up buying for the upper. So one thing that I also wanted to get that I found was actually kind of cool was this vertical hand grip. And so that was another thing that Aaron
That's right,
said. If you were to have an pistol, having a vertical hand grip, so you can hold it like this, would not be permitted.
Right.
And so I got this not just so I could have hopefully a more comfortable handling position, but I can press a little button and it becomes a bipod.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a nifty little gadget, and it just kind of folds right back up there. So I was pretty excited about that. That's a fun gadget. I like interesting things. So it may just be the kid in me, but I figured, why not? All right, well, that's part one. We're gonna rearrange and get things set up to where you can actually get a closer view of the assembly process with all the right parts and the tools and everything. And I think Aaron and I are going to be doing this together. Probably some of the more fine-tuned stuff Aaron will do, and then some of the more generic I will do. So that way, I guess in a way, it can be seen that I'm putting it together, I'm assembling it, just with assistance. Because as you saw in the assembling lifeguard video, I struggled a little bit. And cue the montage of the editing and me. It's not even going in. Try this here. Because I am struggling, so keep on talking.
Yeah, so I don't actually want to be facing this direction too.
Okay.
I think you lost it.
I did.
Yep. Might have to start over. Yeah, it came out.
Attempt number 2. I'll edit it so it looks like I got it right the first time.
That's cheating.
I know.
I think you might have the spring backwards.
Okay, do I need the...
Yeah, I liked it. And that one will stay on the end a bit. Little dab. Alright, just leave that one in there. So maybe it won't stay on there for you. Now we assemble a complete gun in about 4 minutes. We're probably close to 10 minutes in right now.
We'll be right back, and we'll get to do part 2, assembling the AR-15.
Alright.